Well, hello YouTube. I was not planning on doing the challenge. However, after reading my cards just moments ago, I have decided I will participate this year in the pagan YouTube challenge. It is for that reason that I wish to show my Grimoire. Now, I will not be appearing on camera. I do not have a face for TV, so to speak. However, I do feel my craft may be something others are indeed willing to relate to. I will not be showing everything inside of my book, but perhaps I will be showing most. This is my book. It is hand-bound in leather. The clasp which once held it shut has now been, unfortunately, lost. But the rest of the book is indeed here. I beg your forgiveness, for this will be my first video. The book is all made with handmade paper, and of course comes with small warning to any who may try to read my book, with instructions on where I live and how to contact me to return my volume. Now, this is the front page, with of course my sigil, and a small warning about using my book. Now, I will not be showing my magical name, for I feel that it gives power to mine enemies, something I do not wish to do. There is a small take heed, of course, and then this first page on goblins. These two are on elves and leprechauns. We come into ogres, a little bit about them, and gnomes. Very ancient history on gnomes. I go into a little bit of detail about imps, and I do speak quite a bit about grimoires. This is my page on what it is to be a wizard, and what it is to be a witch. These are some older songs, and a little bit of a sigil work there. This is a spell for conjuring and speaking with the fairy. This is about lycanthrope, a little bit about their history and how they came about. Trolls. I am extremely fond of trolls and their ideas and their history and their lore. I even have these two bits of antiquity here. One is for troll bait, luring a troll away or to you, and another is on troll charms, keeping them from your home, with the use of small leather bags. This is about dwarves, small entry, and it needs some embellishments. This is about brownies, and we go on to centaurs. Now, in this book, I do have this lovely page on the fae, and as you can see, according to that little strip, I was assisted in the making of this book by a small and young pixie. Well, speaking of pixies, of course we go to ghouls first. A little bit about them and a spell on them. And pixies, as they are lower pixies. Now we come into the world tree, the great ass tree, the Yud Sol. And speaking of the norms, of course it starts with Asgard and all the others, Midgard, Mispelheim, Jogelheim, Helheim. A little bit of a description and understanding on the world tree, and of course its sigil. Now this is about conjuring the light within, and conjuring, of course, the dark within. You see, I don't see the light and dark as evil and good, more the intent of the person practicing. A little bit about magic and spells, and there's a home blessing there. This is one of my first spells. I don't like to do too much on curses and show, but I will let you have a little taste of what they are. This is a potion page on how I set up potions, labels, and everything, giving you an example there. And a small description on potions, as well as a small list that I made many years ago and have not thrown away. This is a little bit of the saga of the Volsung, on the slaying of the great serpent, the dragon. There's quite a bit of this, actually. Now we come on to some more spells, some workings, of course, some runic magic, which we will discuss runes later. I go into a little bit of depth about the dragons, and of course my zodiac charts. I am missing a bit of information there that I wanted to add more of a pull out, and never did. It goes from, of course, the actual sigils and the names and the planet and the herbs, to resins and metals and orbits, and of course the spellcraft that is done at that time. This page is also the same, and it goes a little bit more of an introduction into it, and the gems and colours and flowers and body parts of where it sits. Another of my spells, or another spell. Perhaps next time I should better plan this out, so as not to give away too much here. More so on spells and things of that nature. You know, my own workings and addings of over the years and putting of things into the book. We're going to kind of skip through some of this. A good amount of that is private, and I shouldn't even have teased you with it. Of course, we go into runes, the ancient alphabet. I do like working with the runes. There's something earthly about them. There's something that speaks to me. A little bit about familiars and familiar spirits. My familiar is running around about here somewhere. Where she is, I have no clue. A little bit more on spells, a little journaling, you know. The festivals, of course, as I call them the festivals, but you know, Samhain, and things like that. My spirit, conjuring and speaking with the ancestors and things of that nature. More speaking with spirits. We go into, of course, the sight, and this is all about palmistry, as it were. Here we have the laws of the calling. That's when I refer to the Mass. There are more laws I will never break, you know. I shall not take another life, and things like that. This is the laws of magic. You might be familiar with as above, so below, as you will see on the next page. Here, you know, the fundamental principles of it all. This is more spirit conjuring and speaking with them, of course, and I don't really open too many portals. It's not something you should do. It damages your own spirit. Here are some vampire information and vampire spells. Yes, the Ouroboros, my actual relatable sigil that I deal with on occasion. This one is about broken love and love itself and things of that nature. we go on to the moon and all about that, and my magic is sort of European-esque, centralized. However, I would be very accustomed to Taoism and other practices from around the world, if, shown to me. Let's see, more about Fae. The Fae are very interesting and difficult to contact. This is about the creed of a wizard, what it means to be a wizard, and the promises made. These are the bylaws of the old way. I relate to them, and I try to keep them in my practice. This has been handed down for quite some time in my family. These are what I know as the laws of the shackles. These are what you would consider the laws you should never break, even if you are practicing on a darker path, and some punishments that may come with it. The principles of the light and the principles of the dark. Some more spells. And, here we go. We go into the elements now. Air. Here we go. Fire. It's a little bit about plants. And I have a whole other book on herbology, plants, and some more on private spells and curses and things of that nature. Although I do not recommend curses at all, even though I do hold on to them. Let's see. Water. Let's see. Yes, earth. Conjuring of the ancestors, and let's see. A bit on that. The laws of apprenticeship, which I do believe you should have an apprentice. You should pass on your craft to someone. This is about herbology, healing. Of course, I'd like to have a little bit of healing, a little bit of that sort of thing in my book. These are runes, and but this is actually the binding of the hands ceremony. It comes with how to conduct it. It comes with a reading of the list. It comes with a horn blessing and instructions on how to carry out the ceremony itself, and of course the divinity, because love should be eternal and everlasting. And we're going to end with some riddles. Riddles are a great way to keep the mind sharp, and that is it, my bleeding book. I wanted to thank everyone for watching, if you are watching, and let me know what you think. Perhaps if I should incorporate other practices, maybe I will even show you a bit of my other books and things at a later date, and we shall see. Well, until we meet, if ever we meet, thank you very much for watching, and blessed are the stars, and blessed art thou. Merry meet.